Now it's time for Peter. Senior Counselor for Trade and Manufacturing, Peter Navarro, joins me now. Hey, Peter.
Will, you have made my week with that quote, because it's absolutely priceless, because it's like what they've been saying now is exactly what they were saying in the first term with Donald Trump. None of this inflation or recession with Trump. Well, we got was price stability and growth. And now you go back to the time capsule to Reagan. I mean, Will, that's priceless. So pat on the back to you and your producers for rolling that out, man. You made my day.
Well, I appreciate that, Peter. The goal is to help the audience and all of us understand the present moment and put it into the context of history. You know, Ronald Reagan did say that he came out of that entire exercise known as the Great Communicator. So I'm going to lean on you now to be the communicator for the administration. We are, as we point out, and as pointed out by President Trump, perhaps going to have to endure a recession. We are going to deal with unpredictability, uncertainty. There will be fluctuations in the market. But there is a presumption that's part of a bigger picture, Peter. Help us understand, what is the bigger picture for the economy from the administration?
Yeah, great question. And let's start looking through one end of the telescope through today's data. As you correctly observe, the core rate of inflation has fallen to its lowest level in almost 4 years. That's huge. Gasoline prices down. We've had mortgage rates down. We've had grocery prices flat. Here's the thing. We're in this difficult transition from Bidenomics to Trumpnomics. What is that? Okay, Bidenomics was a combination of very over-aggressive Keynesian stimulus spending to goose the economy that created large amounts of debt, which is unsustainable. So at the same time that it gave us what we call demand pull inflation, too much money chasing too few goods, it built in a recession possibly at some time down the road if that spending weren't controlled. At the same time, the Bidenomics sent these what we call negative supply shocks, Will, through the economy, dragging us down economically and building more recession in with its attack on oil. It's don't drill, baby, don't drill, baby. And so we went from $50 a barrel roughly in the Trump era to about 80 in the Biden era. Now, that's huge because it's not just that we use it for our transportation needs and our heating needs.
Right.
It's also a big part of fertilizer production, so it affects food prices, and it's pretty much in every piece of our industry that we do. So what we're doing, you asked me for the big picture, Trumpnomics 2.0 is the same as it was in the first term plus. Okay, what's the plus? What was it in the first term? We have what I call a 3D attack on inflation, which is the deregulation. It's the drill, baby, drill, getting those oil prices down. And then the new part of it, the 2.0 part, is the DOGE, the aggressive attack on waste, fraud, and abuse, and too many people working in government, not enough in the private sector. And the jobs report last Friday, Will, was very interesting because it indicated a significant fall in government employment, but a significant rise in both private sector and manufacturing.
Right.
And then the last part of it, which is so important to President Trump, so important to this country, is to stop our trading partners from cheating us with higher tariffs, higher non-tariff barriers, and draining us of $1 trillion of wealth every year through a trade deficit. And so that is an adjustment will involve bringing back our manufacturing, our factories here. We lost 90,000 factories. NAFTA, WTO, NAFTA, SHAFTA, even the USMCA is not working for us now because Biden didn't enforce it. So this is where we're going. We're going to a world just like Reagan went from his inauguration to the middle of his term, where it was the Reagan miracle. This is going to be the Trump golden age of prosperity miracle, and it's much bigger than Ronald Reagan ever dreamed of or imagined, and it's going to be that much better. Salute to Ronald Reagan, but really salute to the commander-in-chief right now.
Peter, Ronald Reagan did have a transition period, and it did it did force a cost. It forced a cost politically. In the midterm elections of 1982, Republicans lost 26 seats in the House. They lost a seat in the Senate. I think that begs the question, how long will this transition take, and will there be a political price for Republicans in 2026?
Well, Will, nobody knows better than I personally what it means to lose the House of Representatives to crazy people like Nancy Pelosi and little Jamie Raskin and those folks. Because I watched, after Pelosi took over, a horror show of impeachments and subpoenas and this, that, and the other thing, of which I got caught up and wound up in a place I didn't want to go and shouldn't have, because I was defending the Constitution. So we are very mindful of that issue looming up in the midterms. But the thought process here is the Democrats dig themselves ever deeper into these ditches, defending the most crazy kind of waste, fraud, and abuse and spending and radical kinds of things like men and women's sports. We have that difference this time around because the Democrats are making fools of themselves. At the same time, that President Trump has had the best 50 days of any president in American history, and there's no sign inside here or outside there that that's going to slow down, because we got a lot of good stuff to go, and we're just going to, and I'm so pleased with the trade team and the vice president, because we are all on the same page, moving in the same direction under the president's leadership, and it's working beautifully.
Well, this has been a wonderful conversation. Thank you so much for that big picture. It's good to know, as perhaps you can serve the role as the great communicator here for this, what may be an economic American miracle as well. Peter Navarro, thank you.
You take care, Will.
All right.
Bye-bye.